there was one nurse, and I'm kind of next to my mother. You see that woman next to my mother?
Now,
She
which one is
is
your mother?
My mother is the one front row. Let's see, she's on my right. Let's see, that's her right there.
Okay, excellent.
And then the woman next to her was their principal chief nurse. Della Rainey, that was who that was. She had tried to get into the Army Nurse Corps, but the American Red Cross was the recruiters for the Army Army Nurse Corps. They said she couldn't join because she was Black. Okay. So what she did, she wrote a letter to the the American Red Cross, saying she wanted to help serve her country, and they gave her a membership card. So by her getting in, and let me move so you can really see her, by her getting in, it opened the door for others. Now, the thing is, even that we were still segregated. And that's why the Tuskegee Airmen, they built a whole base to train Black men who were to be trained to fly military planes because it wasn't integrated. So they built a whole base in Tuskegee, Alabama, because Tuskegee Institute was there, and that's what it was called then. And they had a civilian pilot program. So they already had that kind of set up, and it was warm. It was warm in Alabama. So that's where an Army base was built. Now, this is history. This is true history. So when the door was open for the nurses to join the Army Nurse Corps, the nurses went in as lieutenants. They were officers. Keep in mind, they were on the base where the future Tuskegee Airmen, because they weren't called Tuskegee Airmen until like the 1950s, but these were pilot cadets learning to fly military planes. There was no Air Force then. It was called the Army Air Corp. So the nurses were officers. These men were pilot cadets. They had to salute the nurses because the nurses were officers. And one of the things I'm fortunate to have done, I interviewed some of the nurses and some of the airmen who knew them before they died. And basically all of them are dead, except there's this one nurse whose brother was a Tuskegee Airman, and she met these nurses on another base when they closed Tuskegee. So these nurses helped break the color barrier in military nursing. Keep in mind, Black nurses weren't allowed in white hospitals. So basically, the nurses could serve on bases with Black personnel or German prisoners. And the German
Interesting.
prisoners were probably treated much better than